What's up, everybody? Hey, we're doing another sports video from the walking trail. It's raining, it's sprinkling, but I want to talk about, I didn't think there's already a couple people I saw in here, but anyways, let's talk about Pete Carroll and why him being the new Las Vegas Raiders head coach I think is a bad idea. And I'll give you the reasons why I think they hired him, and I'll give you the reasons why I think it's a mistake. Number one, they hired him because his connection to USC, Southern California, there's overlapping fans. He's gonna kind of run the ship the way it's supposed to be ran. I don't necessarily understand how that interview came about, but there's this new trend of head coaches taking a year off and then, finding another job, kind of taking a vacation, if you would, right? And so they hired him because he has a track record of his success. He's been a coach for a lot of years, so he has experience, right? And he's won a Super Bowl. And he's had success at the college level at USC. So it does kind of make sense why they would hire him, right? Why they would hire him, right? And so hiring Pete Carroll for the Raiders, I think it's like a 3-year contract. It kind of makes sense on the surface level, right? And so they pulled the trigger. They got rid of Antonio Pierce, which I don't like. But there's going to be another video I'm going to make about why they got rid of Antonio Pierce. And so Pete Carroll, he's going to go in there. He's going to hire the status quo, bring in some of his own friends, and he is, I don't know if he's going to do a great job. Obviously, that's the goal, right? You're getting paid millions of dollars to run a billion-dollar corporation, because that's what all these NFL franchises are. So if you look at like a board of directors safe hire, that's Pete Carroll. And I get it. You're like, this is a good idea, right? Blah, 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 blah. So there's that. And then so, like on talk radio, everybody has a positive swing on this, on hiring Pete Carroll. But now let me talk about the reasons why it's not going to work. Okay, number one, Pete Carroll was at New England, and he had a little bit of success, right? He followed Bill Parcells in New England some years back. Had a little bit of success. So the storyline I'm going to try to get to is he's like on the coattails of people, and he's kind of taking over programs that have kind of already been cleaned up, right? The Patriots were horrible for a bunch of years. We're talking decades. Bill Parcells comes in. He kind of demonstrates that you could clean house and kind of fix everything. And then he leaves. Pete Carroll comes in, and he just kind of toes the line again, right? And this is the reason why it's not going to work out. So then he goes to USC, which has a history of like having, back in those days when he was there, it was just everybody wanted to go there. And so, and the team wasn't wildly unsuccessful. And so he ramped it up a little bit, had some crazy success. And so there you go. USC won a national championship. They were really good. They had some amazing players. And so there's Pete Carroll for USC. Then he makes his way to the NFL, where he takes over as the Seattle Seahawks, right? Eventually does well there too. But see, here's the story. Here's a story. His third head coaching job, he takes over for who? Mike Holmgren, who reset the Seattle Seahawks too. So he, on his third coaching job, which eventually led him to a Super Bowl, he at this point now has kind of never had to clean shop. He's never had to reset the system in these NFL organizations or football organizations. He's never had to tear it down completely and build it back up. He has not. So you hire him for the Raiders, which requires a complete teardown and a complete buildup. So is he qualified to do that? No. The answer is he is not qualified to do that. So you're going to see a very difficult situation in Oakland, in Las Vegas, be the same way. So the bad news is you didn't hire a guy like has the ability or track record to be able to take a team, gut it, restart it, and build it back up. He is taking over as a person who has a track record of kind of holding the line, having success, but never having to rebuild. Okay? Now, his track record in the draft is good, right? He does. He has a good track record drafting players, finding talent, right? Building teams. But he's 74 or 71 years old, whatever he is. You got to have a ton of energy. So the mismatch is one, you go into a discombobulated organization that now has given you expectations of which you have no formal experience for. Yes, you can run a team. Yes, you can hire coaches. Yes, you can do all the stuff necessary. But there are no signs or indication that Pete Carroll has the energy, because he's older. That is a factor. He's older, and he does not have experience restarting a team from these points. So why would you hire a guy to do these things? Now, the reason why I think they hired him is so he could be gone in 2 years when Deion Sanders becomes an available coach. And I think they're going to empty the bank account to hire Deion Sanders, because Deion Sanders, head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, University of Colorado Buffaloes, took a team that was dismantled, that was never good for long periods of time, took a team that was like 1-11, and he turned the program around. So if you look at what he demonstrated in those 2 years, it's a complete contrast to somebody like Pete Carroll that has success as a result, right? A result of him taking over teams that were 50% established. And in USC's point, they were probably 75% established. So I do not expect success from the Raiders. They do not have a well-built offense, although their rookie tight end is he's a good tight end. That's a draft pick, but they have no quarterback. They have no their offensive line needs rebuilding. They have holes everywhere. He's going to have to do a complete rebuild. The only positive thing they have is they have a bunch of cap space. But I don't think he's the man for the job. It's going to require a person that's like, say, 55 years or younger with a different type of experience. I just explained to you all the reasons why he's not going to work out with the Las Vegas Raiders. So then why did they hire him? So anyways, I think he's going to be a placeholder. There's going to be 2 years of rebuilding. the Raiders are going to tank their seasons again. And I think that they're just waiting for Deion Sanders. I think that's going to be a thing. And so, what are your thoughts on this? You know, I think that Pete Carroll is going to sell tickets. And I think that for right now, that's all the Raiders care about, because they couldn't get Deion Sanders. Mr. Rebuilder, can he do it? Yes, he can. Pete Carroll, the guy who takes over, you know, he takes over when it's 50% done. A lot of coaches can do that, right? Most can't do what the Raiders need, which is a complete tear up and build up. And